there were 2,270 undergraduates at 30 universities from 29 provinces. About 91% of the subjects were between 18 and 20 years old. 63% started learning English between 13 and 15, and 31% started learning English between 9 and 12. Large proportions of students from rural areas started late, whereas large proportions of students from urban areas started early. Okay, that means they have different family backgrounds. Okay, and then participants' pre-college English learning experience was limited to the classroom. On average, 3 hours per week in elementary school and 5 hours per week in high school. And instrument. Okay, a Chinese questionnaire included one section concerning motivation types and another pertaining to self-identity changes. And students could respond in any language, but most of them, they choose to use their mother tongue, Chinese. Okay, and the motivation type section consisted of 30 statements based on several hundred anonymous answers to an open-ended question. What drives you to learn English? It used an open-ended question because they want to explore possible types of motivation. Okay, and then the section on self-identity changes contains 6 categories, each with 4 items. Total is 24 items, come from existing bilingual theories. Okay, and here I'm going to explain the 6 categories of self-identity changes. The first one is self-confidence change. That means you have the change in the perception of one's own competence. And then the additive change, the existence of 2 sets of languages, behavioral patterns and values, each specified for a particular context. And then the third one is subtractive change. The native language and native culture identity are replaced by the target language and target culture identity. Okay. And that's productive change. The command of the target language and that of the native language positively reinforce each other. And then split change. The struggle between the languages and cultures gives rise to identity conflict. Okay, and then zero change means absence of self-identity change, not change at all. Okay, and then the procedure. Okay, 5 pilot studies were carried out in 3 universities in Beijing. And based on teachers and students' feedback and reliability test results, some items were deleted or revised. And the resulting version of the questionnaire was formally administered between March and May in 2002. Okay. Altogether, 2,473 copies were issued, and 2,270 valid copies were collected, amounting to a valid return rate of 92.1%. And Chroma Alpha was calculated too. The reliability for the motivation types was 0.77. And therefore, the identity change section was 0.65. Okay. And then we'll do the data analysis. An exploratory factor analysis was conducted on the 30 motivation questions to explore motivation types. And descriptive statistics of self-identity changes in various categories were calculated. And a canonical correlation analysis was carried out to examine the relationship between motivation types and self-identity changes. Okay, and then come out the result. Okay, so they tried to find out the motivation types. So here, the factor analysis yields 7 factors, okay, which accounted for 54.54% of the total variation. Okay, so the first one is intrinsic interest. It means appreciation or fondness of the target language and certain aspects of its culture. Okay, and the other motivation is immediate achievement. Learning the target language to obtain satisfactory results in exam to get higher scores, okay, or pass the entrance test. Okay, learning situation. Learning English because of aspects of learning environment, such as the quality of teaching, or teaching materials, or teachers and affiliations with the learning group. Or the motivation is you want to go abroad. You learn English to go abroad for various purposes, such as finding better education or job opportunities, experiencing English-speaking cultures, and immigration. Okay, and then social responsibilities. This is a very special one. Learning the target language to combine harmonizing the family and putting the country in order, emphasizing the individual's responsibility to fulfill social expectations. And this motivation type, based on Confucian tradition, was not found in existing literature and might be particular to Chinese or Asian context because the education we get. And then individual development. Learning English to increase one's own ability and social status in future development, which could be as specific as finding a good job and as general as acquiring a sense of achievement. Okay, the last one is information medium. Learning English to obtain information and learn other academic subjects. Okay, so here are the 7 motivation types. Okay, and then self-identity changes. The first score of each type of self-identity change was 20, with 12 as the critical value between changed and unchanged states. The most prominent self-identity change for the Chinese participants occurred in self-confidence. Okay, the second highest score appeared under 0 change. The cultural aspects of learner identity did undergo some changes, especially the productive and addictive type. Okay, so here, relationship between motivation and self-identity changes. The canonical correlation analysis showed motivation types and self-identity changes were correlated through 4 pairs of significant canonical variables. Okay, and the canonical correlations between the 4 pairs were